Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It is Wicked here, and today is our Thursday time lapse. Yeah, we watched the Disney movie Atlantis: The Lost Empire last night. Wanted to give a little bit of props to a Disney princess that doesn't really get talked about or anything much, but it's Kida. She is an Atlantean in the story, and if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. I was a fan of the movies that came out in the era that people didn't really care to like, but like Tarzan, stuff like that. I liked all those movies, might be a little bias on my part. But basically, what I did was I just went ahead and just drew her out, just kind of had her kind of coming out of the water. So then I just decided to create a new layer underneath the lines and start shading like you would on a piece of paper. With digital, it's a little bit easier. There's no erasing that has to go on. You can just kind of reblend back over. So I'm just using an oil brush that I got. You can get these off of Photoshop, Adobe's website for free. You can just download them in a little package or whatever. But yeah, I'm just going in and hitting up different areas of the skin where it's darker. You can see like I'm sticking close to the line edges. The light source is coming in from the top left, so I'm trying to keep most of the shadows over on the right side. And under any folds or bends in cloth, things like that. So I'm just testing and playing too. So the way that I get things to blend is I'll keep my finger over the Alt key and I'll kind of color pick in between the two colors and just keep going over it and blend it out just so that it gets smoother as it goes. So like right now it's looking kind of rough. So think of it like painting on a portrait. You want to get the big chunks first, and just depending on what your method is. Like for me, personally, with certain parts of the body, like the bigger chunks of the body, I usually start with the darker colors first. I know a lot of people probably do the exact opposite, or they start with a mid-tone and work their way out. It's just a personal preference for me. It's just kind of how my eyesight looks at color, but I start with that darkest shadow and then just push it and blend it out from there. I know just from basic lighting that the side of the body that's facing the light is going to get more of a whiter tint. So like if you look at the abs and what I'm doing on the side of the arm here, I know that that's going to be my highlight point. Um, and once I have everything rendered out, it'll be easier to emphasize those things once we add color to it. But for now, I'm just kind of just blending in to get a basic shaded rendering. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You could just start with color if you want. I personally just whatever I feel at the moment. I just really wanted to make it look painterly, so I just started with the darker shading to go that way. You could just start with colors. I think it's a little bit more challenging. So if you want to challenge yourself, you can do it that way. But I think it's easier working in grayscale to get stuff done. But yeah, so I'm just going in the face, just kind of setting up different planes on the face. What looks right. Man, remember what I said in a couple of my other videos. Sometimes I just do things because it looks cool. Not necessarily that it's 100% facially accurate or anything. Sometimes it's just best to just have it look good, especially if I'm not doing it for anybody other than myself. So with the color layers though, what I did was just created a new layer above the shading, and I just set that to an overlay. And then I just went in and just started. I had a um, it, I had trouble like kind of figuring out what it was. I think it's kind of like it's blue, but it's got a little hint of purple in there. So I just found that color and just put that. And then with the skin tone, it kept kind of coming out kind of peachy. And I noticed in the movie she's always had kind of a darker tone. So you'll see me switch the bottom layer off. But you have to remember to set it back to normal. So now it'll look like more like a flat cartoon, like she was in the movie. But that way I can control the color of her skin tone, which is a little bit darker. And then just kind of filling in all that patch because I was kind of like using the oil brush still, and I didn't like that like patchiness that was on there, so I'm just trying to fill it in solid all the way around. So yeah, I just working my way up the body, um, you know, trying to keep everything inside. I could have just lassoed it out, but I was using enough control that I wasn't really messing up too much. So I'm just kind of going through and filling all that out. Now with her hair and tattoos, they're brighter colors, so like the blue, and their hair is actually kind of white, all the Atlanteans. So that was too easy. All you have to do with that, having that gray background helps too, have these colors stand out. So I just filled it in white. The little thing around her hair on the end is actually kind of a brown color, so you just fill that in, and then the crystal is just a light blue. So then I just turned it back on to overlay, so now you can see the rendering through the color, and it looks nice. Now I'm trying to come up with a highlight. So I couldn't decide, because I wanted to seem like the glow from the crystal she was walking towards. So I put a glow on the crystal, and then just created a whole separate layer for the highlights and just named that highlights. And I just went in there and painted that with a light blue color, which was the color the crystal was giving off. So just certain areas that it was getting hit, I'm just hitting up those edges, a few spots that it would show up on the face, and then around the hair as well too. Give it a nice glow effect. But then I started noticing like the face itself was a little too dark. So I went back in and just switched the back to that white gray color tone, and then the hair was looking a little flat, so I decided to do the same thing with the hair and just give it some shading. And now I'm just filling up a water background. I was trying to think of different ways, like if I wanted to look painterly or whatnot, what the best route would be. So I kind of went to make it look like it was just fading darker and darker as it went back, but it kind of messed up. It was kind of drawing inside the body, so I had to go back and erase that stuff out. But all in all, it looked fine. And then I wanted to kind of get like this glow effect in the water, as well as like a little white ripple, just to seem like she was moving in it or wading in it. So I went through different iterations of that, and just overall decided to just erase out my sketch lines of it and do it more naturally, and just do like a highlighted glow in the water first, and then go in and add ripples really close to the body so it looks like she's in the water, and then add 1 or 2 ripples to the outside. Okay, so all in all, this took about 3 hours and 10 minutes to do. It's not too bad. I could have went into more detail, but that was all the time I had for it. So I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions or you want to see more of a live tutorial on this, like a live stream or something, let me know down in the comments. Other than that, give a like, a share. Let me know what you think about the image. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn how to draw and do different things, I got plenty of videos, so go ahead and subscribe. Other than that, I just thank you for joining and watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, remember to keep sketching. And I will see you guys in the next one, okay? Oh, and one last thing. The glow effect, I kind of did like a color dodge on the skin too, to have it kind of highlight on their skin. Alright, but that's just the same effect that I'm doing in the water right here that you see. So yeah, other than that, like I said, we'll see you guys next time. Keep sketching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Alright, bye.